Special on-the-road edition of the Headbangers Ball, and tonight we're on the road with Pantera and Skid Row. Come on in. So glad you could join us. We're in the spacious penthouse suites of the Howard Johnson in Fayetteville, North Carolina. You know, we're just a mile away from Cape Fear.
Are we?
The real Cape Fear.
The original or the remake?
The real Cape Fear. The original real Cape Fear. Here with Scotty and Rachel from the band Skid Row. And you guys are just starting your American tour now, right?
Starting it. We just started a couple weeks ago, right after Christmas. We did a New Year's show in New Orleans. Went and did a video. And now we're back. We're in North Carolina and on the road trying to wake up. Boom. Fresh off a European tour. Shot.
Now, this is your first headlining American tour, right?
Yeah. It's, first, real headlining thing. But
now, as an opening band, you guys have opened up for, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, all the biggest bands. Do you think that you learned anything from watching all those bands play?
No. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, especially Aerosmith. I mean, being our idols, more or less. You go out. We went out there every night, and it's just like you just sit there and you watch these guys, and they come walking in the dressing room, and you can't form a sentence because you're awestruck. I know I was, because Tom Hamilton's one of my biggest influences, and every time you walk in the room, he'd be like, "So, what are you guys doing tonight?" I'd be like, "Us?" Yeah. But it was cool. They were really cool. That's all the bands we were out. But
we're going to be hanging out with the guys in Scrub.
Yo, that's a long enough.
Sorry. That's really good. Thanks. Okay.
Great story.
That's great story. It's out the Reader's Digest. But now we're going to watch a video. Here's Skull Crusher number 5. Here's Ozzy Osbourne with Mama, I'm Coming Home. Sorry. We're here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on the road with Skid Row. Now, I know the tour just started, but when you play a lot of cities, do you ever, with so many hotel rooms, do you ever wake up and forget what city you're in?
I don't even bother to figure out what city I'm in half the time. I mean, I wasn't quite sure where we were when we got here this morning, so it doesn't matter, you know? It's like when you get out there, then you're like, okay, here we are, Fayetteville, cool, man. So, if you keep track of it, you drive yourself nuts, so don't bother keeping track.
Now, a little bit earlier, Scotty spoke about the video. You guys have just completed another video.
Yeah, for Quicksand Jesus. It's going to be pretty bizarre. A woman by the name of Julia Haywood did it, and she's a pretty much performance artist, and she gets into a lot of weird stuff. Well, I don't want to say anything about what she did, but it's really cool. She, when she came to us with the storyboard and the treatment for the video, she understood the song, I think, better than anyone who's ever listened to it. You know, it seemed like she knew what we were thinking when we wrote it, so I was like...
What were you thinking when you wrote it?
Ask her. It's too long of a story.
She knows.
No, it was all about, trying to keep faith through good and bad, because we wrote it when the war broke out and stuff. So, just that kind of vibe. But you'll see the video. Read the book.
Read the book. We'll be back hanging out with the guys from Skid Row as Headbangers Ball continues from beautiful North Carolina. Right now, let's check out a video from these guys here, Slave to the Grind. Headbangers Ball on the road. We're in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in the Howard Johnsons with Scotty and Rachel of Skid Row. Now, are there any new bands that you're into right now?
Well, I just heard the new Pantera record last night. It's great. We got them out on the road with us, and their new record kicks butt. It's a very heavy record. It's really cool. And if you come to the show, definitely come early and check them out. It's really great stuff, and a great band.
What kind of stuff are you listening to now?
I just got a CD yesterday, a band called the Nymphs. I'm not sure where they're from, but they're really good. They're like a psycho punk type of thing. Kind of punky, Johnny. Yeah. No, it's really good, and also Infectious Grooves, really cool.
Well, right now we're going to do our thing called the Ball Buster competition. That's when we take two new videos and we put them together and we see which one you like better. Then the winner stays and goes up against a new one. This is what we're going to do. We're going to play the videos. Now, last week, a few weeks ago, rather, we had Asphalt Ballet going up against Warrior Soul. And Asphalt Ballet just won with 57% of the vote. Now, tonight, Soul Survive from Asphalt Ballet are going to go up against the Cult's Heart of Soul. And you're going to watch both videos, then you're going to call and tell us which one you like. The number to call is 1-900-370-0100. That's 1-900-370-0100. He's getting the phone right now, ready to call. But let me warn you, each call costs 50 cents. Here's Asphalt Ballet with Soul Survive. Headbangers Ball is coming to you from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Stick around because on this stage right here, you're going to see clips of Pantera playing live and Skid Row playing live. Don't you go anywhere. Don't. Stay right there. Still here in Fayetteville, North Carolina with Scotty and Rachel from Skid Row, and we are going to be checking out them live later on in the show. Now, what do you do to keep yourself sane? I mean, when you're traveling from city to city in hotel rooms, is there anything that you do that keeps you awake, keeps you alive?
Well, usually on days off I have a 4-side studio, like a suitcase type of deal I take with me, but other than that, just watch cartoons and CNN.
So you're pretty up with all current affairs, right?
Oh, absolutely. I know.
And how about you? Same thing?
Oh, yeah. Room service. I got sleep. Sleep all day. And, usually makes for a good show.
Do you ever get nervous when you go into a city that you've never played in? Like, I wouldn't imagine you've ever played in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
No, we haven't. But, I mean, there's no reason to get nervous. I mean, we played all the areas around here, and people drive for miles to catch a show like tonight. So they come from all the other towns that we have played. So, you know, no problem.
No problem. Does every city seem different to you? I mean, are the crowds in Fayetteville, let's say, different than the crowds in Detroit or New York City?
It's more like regions, like you're going to a certain region of the country, and like the whole Bible Belt, the audiences are kind of alike. And then like up in the northern, like you said, like New York and stuff, it's a lot different. Like New York and L.A. actually are a lot alike because you get a lot of musicians. Right?
That's what I hear. A lot of bands say they don't like to play in L.A. because it's so many musicians that just sit there, and you guys like it when people go nuts and make a lot of noise, right?
Absolutely. You want people to go berserk. Like, you know, you want people to do the same thing you did when you went to see a concert, you know? And that's what makes it all the more fun. You got a bunch of people. And maybe it's an ego thing or something. You're sitting there going, yeah, you know, but that's what it's all about. You're supposed to have fun. I still go to shows. Just those ones when we were home. I was in the pit, man.
So when you go to Skid Row, make noise. And like I said, we will be checking them out later. But right now, let's check out a video. Headbangers Ball on location. We're outside of the Cumberland Civic Center in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And we're going to go inside there and see Skid Row and talk to Skid Row. And in a little bit, we're going to go talk to the guys from Pantera who are opening up for this tour. But right now, let's take a look at a video from Skid Row. Here is Wasted Time. Headbangers Ball on the road. We're in North Carolina backstage moments before they go on stage with Skid Row. So you guys are finally headlining.
Yes, finally headlining.
Are there any things that you've got to do now that you couldn't do before?
Play on time. No, we get to play for 2 hours, you know. We got a lot of production, tons of production. Like, we're not making a cent on this tour, you know. We're selling out, but we get so much, like, bombs and smoke and concussions and stuff like that that it's kind of like a present for the gifts.
Now, we talked to the guys from Pantera a little bit earlier, and they said that you guys, you know, were treating them real cool. And I mean, how did you come up with the idea of taking Pantera out on the road?
They're just a great band. I mean, they're a heavy band. We wanted a band that would keep us on our toes, and a band that would get all the fans going before we went on. It's just, it's the idea of just having a great package, that's all. And they're a great band to be a part of the whole thing.
And also, you got to like the band's music, you know? I mean, you got to hear it every night. So, I mean, you have to take out a band that you figure that your fans will like, too.
You like the heavier stuff. I mean, I told you earlier how Kerry King from Slayer was saying he's a big fan of you, and you were like, you flipped out.
That's cool.
That's it.
You're a big Slayer fan.
That's all I listen to in my car, man. It's Decade of Aggression.
Right on. Right now it's time to play the #2 Skull Crusher. This is Metallica with The Unforgiven. Headbangers Ball on the road with Skid Row. We're in North Carolina. I had to remember. Now, you guys have a hard time? Fayetteville.
Yeah. No, it's easy because we got a piece of tape right underneath the monitor every single night. So it's actually quite hard to forget.
Have you ever gone on stage and, like, said something to the crowd and been in the wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I was in Germany last month. Yeah. I go, all right, Sweden, Germany. Yeah. And they go, what? They go, what? And I go, oh, no, that's my girlfriend. Her name's Sweden. She lives right back there. She's at the soundboard. I was talking to her.
Now, there's been times that you've gotten yourself in a little bit of trouble on stage. Is there any ways that you tone yourself down for any cities, or are you just prepared to get in trouble again?
No, we just do what we do, and, you know, if the police are in a good mood, they're in a good mood.
What I've heard
Being themselves.
because I've heard San Antonio is like, if you do anything that resembles fun almost on stage in San Antonio, they'll throw you in jail.
Well, I don't know.
We've never had any problems in San Antonio, to be honest. I mean, we never had any problems whatsoever there. We've always had really good shows. Texas is a great place for heavy metal. I mean, the fans really treat you good, and they go berserk, and that's the kind of
I'll
shit.
probably get thrown in jail the second I go into San Antonio now. That was it.
You gotta get one Ricky Raz per segment.
That's a lot less than Megadeth usually does. We'll be back talking to the guys from Skid Row, but right now, here's something from Lord Death.
Headbangers Ball. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Headbangers Ball on the road with Skid Row. Now, we talked to Rachel a little bit earlier, and he was telling us about the new video that you guys are working on. You want to elaborate on it at all?
It's like a good drug trip. Yeah. It's out there, you know. I mean, the most fun you can have is to create something like new, you know, or try to. And this video is something that you, the home viewer, have definitely never seen.
Now, do you have a lot of input when it comes to making videos? I mean, do you say, I'd like to do this, or does somebody just go up to you and say, this is what we're going to do?
No, well, it depends on how, like, how burnt out we are at that point of road travel.
Well, like for this video with the director Julia Hayward, right? We had some input. We gave her ideas, but I mean, she's so brilliant with what she sees. You know, a lot of the stuff we gave her ideas for, but she made happen. You know, a lot of the past videos we came up with, the storylines are somewhat, you know, and except for one, Slave.
Slave, we did the video for Slave to the Grind.
Forklift.
I think that's
No, what we did, see, that's what I was saying before. At that point, we were on the road with Guns N' Roses, and we had about 7 hours off, and we said, hey, let's do a video. So we just like showed up and did it, and that will never happen again. Yeah. But this one, we were in, I don't know, Switzerland or something, and I was just like on my couch, you know, about 3 in the morning, and I was watching this like an art show or something, and one of her pieces came on there, and I stumbled over the desk, and I wrote her name down, Julia Hayward, and I said, if she can do it, it'll be good. So, yeah, I think you'll dig it.
So stick around. We'll be on the road with Skid Row as the Headbangers Ball continues. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay, that's about it for tonight's Headbangers Ball. Now, you saw a little bit about what Skid Row was all about live, but you've got to check it out because it's heavier, louder, and great pyro, too.
Thank you very much, great pyro. Great crowds, great energy, a lot of fun, and we'll see you on tour this year. And we'll see you either with Pantera up till February or with Soundgarden starting in February. Bye-bye.
There you go. That was, wow. If only you could smell that. Be glad you can't. That's it for tonight's Headbangers Ball with Skid Row. Well, that is it for tonight's show. I want to take the time out to thank the people in North Carolina. You guys really know how to rock. I mean, when I came here, I had misconceptions, but going to the show, meeting people out here, I really like North Carolina a lot. Also want to thank Pantera and Skid Row. Probably two of the easiest bands and most fun bands that I've ever worked with, and they both put on real live shows, real live rock and roll, something that's sometimes missing in a lot of shows. So when Pantera and Skid Row hit your town, you're a fool if you miss this show. Remember, next Saturday night, Headbangers Ball, I will be there, and I hope you will too. Sherry, get well soon. Had a great time. Remember to keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the gold. See ya.